Houses are moving off the market at the fastest rate in more than a year. We showed you these numbers last week. According to the Grand Rapids Association of Realtors, single-family home sales jumped just over 39% last month. Last year at this time, 772 homes sold. This year, 1,075. One of the big reasons, that $8,000 first home tax credit the feds have been offering. Brian Sterling in the newsroom right now with more on this. Brian?
Well, Sue, the reality is that you only have a few more weeks to take advantage of that credit, and today we want to show you some steps of how you can take advantage of that and maybe expose any complications that could prevent you from cashing in. We'd like to introduce Julie Rietberg. She's the CEO of the Grand Rapids Association of Realtors. Julie, thanks so much for your time.
Thank you.
Let's start with this credit. You've got to do this. You've got to close on a home by November 1st. Are you anticipating any drop-off? Because, as you mentioned, sales have been up for the last 7 months. Are you anticipating a drop-off once that credit expires?
Actually, the closing needs to happen by December 1st.
By December 1st, okay. Sorry.
As opposed to, that's okay. I just want to make sure the viewers are aware of that. We're expecting to see perhaps some drop-off when that expires. It clearly has had an impact on sales, but there are many numbers and it's really helped to reduce the inventory on the market of a lot of properties, including the distressed properties that we define as short sales or foreclosures. So the inventory has gone from roughly about a 16-month supply down to about an 8.5-month supply. So we think that will make a big difference going forward.
That's encouraging. What's the latest that someone can wait to buy a home with a traditional mortgage?
Well, that's the great question of the day. If you're looking at a property that's in foreclosure or that's subject to a short sale, it's very likely you will not close on that property before November 30. You're best finding a property that what we refer to as a private seller that's selling the property. That's probably your best bet. Now, there is that chance that Congress will extend the tax credit, and we're obviously lobbying for that opportunity. But if that doesn't happen, then you're best buying a property that is just straight out between you and the seller.
As you mentioned that if you're going for something that may be a short sale or a foreclosure, there are just too many hoops you have to jump through to be able to fulfill that, to make that deadline.
There are a lot of hoops to jump through on a short sale or foreclosure property. You kind of get in line, if you will, and the banks have been overrun with those kinds of sales and transactions, so they're behind. And as a result, it's going to be tougher to close that by December 1st.
Obviously, the first-time home buyer, the credit, it was determined to boost sales. We talked a little bit about what happens when that credit expires. Let's talk about the forecast in general for the market over the next 6 months to a year. What are you anticipating as far as home sales go?
You know, all the numbers we're looking at are up in terms of or at least positive in that respect. We have, I've mentioned the inventory has reduced significantly, and that really is the key factor to turning things around. For the homeowner who's not taking advantage of this tax credit, who's just in their home but has watched their value decline on their property, this is also good for them.
I hate to cut you off, Julie.
No problem.
Thank you for that information.
Okay.